Welcome, subscribers. This is the second video I had promised for tonight as I try to get my channel back in play. The first one I talked about personal issues, failed relationship, um, moving on, and focusing more on myself. The second video is going to be about something I love dearly, close to my heart. It is pretty much the end all be all for my life's existence. A hobby, for lack of a better term, but it's a very, very passionate hobby that I have. Firearms, terminal ballistics, archery, targeting, target practice, um, everything that encompasses it is. That was real smooth. Yeah. I'm not editing it out. It is what it is. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing today, but I'm going to start with something simple. Many of you have been considering getting a personal defense weapon, a concealed carry weapon for your own protection. You're faced with a lot of choices, a lot of questions as to what you need to get. And much of it will have to do with your own personal preference. I highly recommend you look at YouTube videos, research everything you possibly can. But in this case, I can only talk about what I choose for myself. And y'all just letting me talk with my collar sticking up. I wonder if the last video had that. Anyway, so let's start simple. People get guns to protect themselves. Most of those people do so legally. People who get guns illegally get what they can, when they can, where they can, and how they can. But you, my friend, are going to be a law-abiding citizen, and you're going to follow the rules of your community, the state in which you live in. And depending on that state, there will be limitations as to what kind of firearm you can have, or whether you can have one or not. Talking to those people in New York City, right? So I, in my state, am allowed to conceal carry a weapon on my person with a concealed carry weapons permit. But in the confines of my house and the confines of my car, I can have a weapon without the need of a permit. And the choice of that weapon will be based on your experience and your comfort level with the type of weapon you choose. Many people are going to tell you the best gun for the house defense is a shotgun. That could be true. But when you do purchase a weapon for that purpose, please take into consideration every aspect of that purpose. If you discharge a weapon in your house, and whether you miss or don't miss, that projectile potentially can go through a wall, out a window, through a door, into someone else's living space, or some innocent bystander who had no reason to be there other than going about their own life. And once you let that bullet out, there's no going back. And there's a litany of lawyers tied to that bullet as it comes to a terminal stop. So, again, before I get to my weapon that I'm going to talk about today, pray that you follow up and do your own due diligence and research the laws in your area, and research the type of weapon you're going to get based on the purpose in which you're going to get it for. I personally recommend that you go to a gun range that rents out weapons, and you get a feel for everything. As far and training, train. Pay for training. Pay more for training than you did for your gun. Okay, I cannot emphasize that enough. I will talk more about these issues later, but for today, in an effort to get my channel going and to keep my video down to a minimum, I'm at 6 minutes already. I'm going to talk about my personal carry weapon. This is not the only weapon I carry, nor do I strictly carry this weapon as my sidearm. I carry other weapons as my sidearm from time to time. I switch them up. And how you do that is going to be up to you, which will be another video. But in order not to gild the lily any further, I'm going to introduce to you the M&P Shield in .45 caliber ACP. It holds 6 rounds in the magazine, not a clip, and 1 round in the chamber. Okay, for a total of 7. You can get an extended magazine that'll allow you to have 7 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. You'll notice here I have a belt clip for times where I do not wish to have a holster. But in no way does this belt clip impede my use of a holster. And I recommend you always have a holster unless you're in a state like Arizona or Florida or Alabama, Texas, where when it gets hot, and you can't, the less you wear, the better. But you'll see that the clip does not interfere with the use of the holster. It's an inside the waistband holster. It's very comfortable. It's an inexpensive holster, very practical. And since it's inside the waistband, you really don't have to have any retention issues. Your only real concern should be able to be getting it out of the holster. That being said, I personally recommend a .45. It's typically shoots a 230 grain bullet, which is something else I'll talk to you about later. But it's 0.45 of an inch in diameter. And the heavier the bullet, traveling at a specific speed, the more energy it's going to impart upon impact. So look at the size of that big bore. Okay. Yes, it is loaded. For all of those of you who want to say, you should have cleared the weapon first, I'm not going to play with the weapon, okay? I'm not even putting my finger anywhere near the trigger. I'm letting you know about this choice, okay? Others would say, get a Glock, get a Springfield, get a Taurus, whatever. Dude, go to the range, rent different guns, add different calibers, and find what's most comfortable for you. I'm at 9.5 minutes. I'm going to close this up. This gun comes with a safety. You can have a gunsmith take that safety off and you'll just be focused on the trigger. Okay, that is possible with this weapon. Okay, it's easily disassembled for cleaning and maintenance. It has Novak type sights and contrast sights for you to use. Okay, I placed a Hogue grip on mine, so it give me a little contour there. Otherwise, this thing is really thin. Perfect for small hands. My hand's not small. But with the grip, it does help a lot. Okay. Okay. Always practice trigger discipline. Do not place your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. And don't be ready to shoot unless you have a target. Don't shoot at people unless you absolutely have to be. Goes without saying. But in any case, here I am at 10 minutes 30 seconds. I'm going to put an end to this video, but here I introduce the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield in .45 caliber ACP model 2.0. Okay, the 2.0 model has a better trigger, I personally believe, than the original. But that's the end of my video. I'll be coming up with more, and hopefully there'll be better videos than this one. This one's can suck. But hey, I don't care. As long as I get something up there. Thank you. You have a good night now.